Sri Vidyalayam News Bulletin. I am Anushka, a 6th standard student of the school. First of all, let us have a gander at the international news. Zelensky repeats calls for no-fly zone security aid sanctions on Russia in address to US Congress. In a somber and sometimes emotional address delivered virtually to members of the US Congress, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for a closing of the sky over Ukraine, a no-fly zone and further sanctions against Russia. A season of protests in Sri Lanka as crisis worsens. Sri Lanka is witnessing a string of protests this week by the political opposition and citizens who blame the Rajapaksa administration for the country's current economic crisis, sharply felt in the persisting shortage of fuel, cooking gas and basic commodities that remain unavailable and unaffordable for many. Now, let us move on to the national news. India-China in talks over Foreign Minister Wang Yi's visit, signaling a possible turnaround in ties. China's State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi could visit India later this month, the first such visit by a Chinese official since the crisis along the line of actual controls sparked by the Chinese military's transgressions in April 2020. G23 leaders called for collective and inclusive leadership. In a sign of deepening fault lines within the Congress, the group of 23 leaders on Wednesday met at former leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Asad's residence here to discuss the party's debacle in the recent assembly polls and declared that collective and inclusive leadership is the only way forward. Now let us switch over to the state news. Panel guest development thrust for Kerala government colleges. The interim report submitted by the Commission for Reforms in Higher Education System appointed by the Kerala government has recommended a major development thrust for government colleges while identifying gaps in their infrastructural and organizational requirements. City Zoo gets sloth bears iguanas from Hyderabad. A pair of sloth bears and a pair of green iguanas have reached the City Zoo from Nehru Zoological Park, Hyderabad. Now it is time for the sports buff. Sindhu Saina win first round matches in All England Championship. ACE Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu and Saina Nehwal began their All England Championships comparison with easy straight game wins over their respective opponents in the women's single here on Wednesday. All Grand Slam to use 10-point tiebreaker in final set. All first Grand Slam tennis tournament will now use a 10-point tiebreaker when matches reach 6-6 in the final set. Now over to the school news.
Namaste. Welcome to the school news. Today we would like to invite your attention to the teach of some of our children as part of our Neeravam project. A lot of students are providing drinking water to the birds nearby their houses. They are allowed to watch nature, birds, the fellow beings, etc. is quite can speak this in these snaps. Through this, our students have proved that they have got the universal appeal in the case of thirst and hunger of even the birds. We feel proud of them. Let's watch the visuals.
Maharani Kemba Nanchamani Vani Vilasa Sannidhana was a queen and regent of Mysore Regent between 1895 and 1902 during the minority of Krishnaraja Vaidya IV. She was the wife of Maharaja Chamarajendra Vaidya X and the mother of Maharaja Krishnaraja Kodiyar IV. She occupies a significant place as any in the annals of Mysore history. Her contribution to the citizenry, her roles of Maharani as regent, as a queen, mother of young kings, Krishnaraja IV, one of the most illustrious rulers of India, has remained commendable. She is considered one of three rare gems in the history of Mysore queens. She was married to Maharaja Rajendra Vadya X on 26 May 1878. In 1881, the famous redemption of Mysore was carried out and the British handed over the rule back to the natural prince Chamarajendra Vadya X, who was now 18 after 15 years. In 1884, Krishnaraja Vadya IV was born to the royal couple in quick succession. They has also had another son, Kandireva Narasimha Raja Vadyar.
शरदो वर्तमानः शतं हेमन्तात् शतमुक्ता शतं दीर्घाणि शतबृहस्पतिः शतायुषान् अक्षेम भुनक्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
That is all for today. See you tomorrow. Namaste.